Just ahead on American Black Journal, it's one of the fastest growing crimes in the world, and Michigan is a major hub. We'll talk about human trafficking and the efforts by a local nonprofit to help young girls who've been victimized. Plus, we'll show you how the Detroit City Chess Club is building young champions. Stay with us.
Eric wants to know.
What does DTE Energy do to make Michigan a better place?
Rodney can tell you.
We do a lot, like youth education and employment programs. We fund over 500 jobs for youth all across the state. Many are neighborhood improvement projects just like this.
It's incredible.
Wow, that is fantastic. So this is like a paint by number, this whole thing, right? Communities are such great places, aren't they?
They sure are.
Love the siding. Measure once, cut twice, right? DTE Energy. Know your own power.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. Human trafficking is on the rise around the world, and Michigan is one of the top states seeing an increase in this crime. Many of the victims are underage girls. Vista Maria is a nonprofit organization that's joined with the Michigan Human Trafficking Task Force to help treat young victims. The agency has been serving at-risk youth for the past 130 years. Joining me now is Meredith Reese, who's Vice President of Vista Maria. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me why Michigan is such a hotspot for this crime. What is it about Michigan that's attracting?
Yes, well, definitely Michigan is what one considered to be a destination state.
Okay.
And that's just the reason because of our huge, agricultural needs.
Okay.
Many of the farms that we do have here in Michigan, and unfortunately, there's been it's been serving some forms in regards to labor trafficking and so forth.
Okay, so these are the people who are being victimized mostly then, are agriculture workers.
Well, yes, well, some, and it's most important when we talk about human trafficking, we're talking about labor. And we talk about sex trafficking also.
Right. There's two different things, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
And the labor trafficking is what you would see on farms and things like that, correct?
Yes, it could be in farms. It could be in various restaurants and so forth. It could be in very different forms, environments where unfortunately trafficking could take place. Trafficking, with the remember, is that it's a form of exploitation of an individual.
Right. Right. So this trafficking that they're doing, how would an average person in Michigan see this play out or even know about it?
Well, it's very important for us to understand what the warning signs or risk factors may be. Oftentimes, it could be the child's age. And the average entry into the life is age 12 for a young girl. Some studies have been for the same age around boys or up to at least 14 for young males. Unfortunately, it is sometimes hard if you don't know what to look for.
Right.
So persons who are not able to speak on their own behalf or so forth, may not have identification and so forth to say who they are or where their whereabouts are some of the indicators, some red flags that could be possibly trafficking.
Right. When you're talking about these people who've been trafficked, are you mostly talking about kids from like other states or these people from other countries who are being brought here?
Unfortunately, human trafficking is a $32 billion industry.
Wow. Wow.
And it is very important for us to understand that, yes, when we talk about human trafficking, it's not only just from around the world, it is right here in the United States. So it exists here, right here in the state of Michigan, and just as in other states also. Right.
So tell me some about this task force. How does that work? And
yes, well, Vista Maria has been as a leader in providing treatment, care, and education to young girls who are at risk. And most importantly, when we are definitely involved with this cause, we definitely have been that strong connection with the Michigan Human Trafficking Task Force. I myself as a member, and I'm also the co-chair for the regional Michigan Human Trafficking Task Force in Detroit.
Okay. Yes. I know that our current Attorney General, Bill Schuette, actually has been a real vocal advocate of better enforcement against this, something I had not seen come out of the Attorney General's office before, this kind of focus. I mean, he's really trying to make a difference here.
Yes, he is, yes, and we are definitely in a big support of those efforts. There's been many legislation that is supporting bills and so forth that to support the anti-trafficking movement, and one of which is being victim-centered and safe harbor legislation, that any youth who is 16 or 17 will be placed and recommended to treatment instead of being picked up and placed in jail.
In jail, right. And is that what happens often with the victims of this, is that they become victimized twice, first by the person who does this to them and then by the system?
Right, you could definitely look at it that way, but it's most importantly that it's just to understand that a victim is a victim.
Right.
And then it should be treated with care and concern. And that's the one position that Vista Maria has always taken position. Over 130 years we've been in involvement providing treatment, care, and education from our highly skilled professionals who are definitely trauma informed.
Right.
And most residential placements or educational systems may not have those particular skilled professionals provide that trauma treatment that's needed.
Right. And so at Vista Maria, I mean, you're taking the victims and giving them a place, a safe place to live and go to school and all those sort of things.
Yes, and it's great because we have actually 2 charter schools on our campus, 37 acres that we do have. We could serve 400 youth a day.
Wow.
So what makes us very unique, especially as our teachers, that they are trauma informed. So when having a small teacher-student ratio, 1 teacher to 15 students, they're able to provide that individual care that's needed and recognize those symptoms that it may be a possible traumatic event and so forth, and dive deeper into that than just taking a status quo that this child is being non-compliant.
Right. How often are you able to take the victims of these crimes and, I guess, reunite them with family? I mean, they're children in many cases. Can you get them back with their families ever?
Well, definitely. This is a collaborative effort, and many of the children may be definitely one of the risk factors that they are in the child welfare system or juvenile justice system. And yes, there's family involvement and also, but a collaborative effort is through law enforcement and through education, medical professionals, and so forth, to see how we can reach out and reunite the family. If family is there, mind you that this is a domestic issue throughout the United States.
Right.
So children are unfortunately transported from one end of the coast to the next end of the coast.
Right. How do children end up falling into this into this problem?
Yes, I know that's very interesting, and more often, especially for the young girls, is that it's an older boyfriend.
Okay.
And through the nature of trafficking, there's 3 possible elements. It's through the nature of force, fraud, or coercion. And usually for a trafficker, it can be very savvy into having these false promises and so forth. With the girl, say, hey, I can provide you a better life.
Right.
And you can come stay with me. And then things start to change very quickly once she actually goes with the trafficker.
Right. And is it almost always girls that we're seeing this, or are there also boys who end up?
There's definitely from boys and for girls. Unfortunately, some of the research and so forth, more is coming out is about the statistics and so forth regarding involvement with males also, but it's definitely there.
Right.
Yes.
What's it going to take to sort of reverse this trend? I mean, as I said in the open, Michigan is becoming a hotter spot for this than it has, and this is a crime that's on the rise. What do we need to do to stop that from continuing?
Yes, I think it's most importantly of anyone doing their own personal research regarding what is human trafficking and the signs. Also, to reaching out to our Vista Maria website at vistamaria.org and finding more information and so forth of how they can get involved with the cause and actually to preventing the issue. And of course, again, just always education.
Right.
Vista Maria has had from residential to foster care, adoption, after-school program, and even transitional living. So even though a child may come into our care at a very young age, they can stay and to thrive into adulthood, being with us with the right support.
Right. I mean, that's a real intervention that you guys are performing in this. Once you get the kids with you, you're sending them in a really different direction.
Yes, we do. And I think that really sets us apart to be a very uniquely positioned of having those specialized professionals that we do have, and to really set the course for treatment and education, because we do believe that education is very powerful to end the cycle of poverty, abuse, and neglect.
Right. Yes. Are there other organizations that work in the same space, or is Vista Maria, I mean, you said it's been for 130 years. Yes. I can't imagine there's others that are that old, right? Yes,
we do have other residential providers that do provide treatment and so forth. We work closely, hand in hand. Right. And it's very important to do so. But when it comes to Vista Maria, we are the premier agency, has been around for the longest time in the state of Michigan, and understand the care that's needed for victimized youth.
Right. Okay, well, that's great work that you're doing, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
right,
for
it's a
being
pleasure.
here. Yes. Just ahead on American Black Journal, we'll learn how the game of chess is changing the lives of Detroit children. That's next, right after this look at some important moments in Detroit's Black history.
I'm Ken Coleman with a look back at African American life in Detroit. This week in 1997, the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History reopened in its new site at 315 East Warren Avenue. It is the largest African American historical museum in the world. And in 1936, with a cash budget of $135 and $1 million worth of nerve, the Michigan Chronicle published its first issue, according to Louis E. Martin, the Black-owned newspaper's first editor. And in 1970, the Jackson 5's ABC became the nation's #1 song. Lead vocals were provided by 11-year-old Michael Jackson. These are significant events this week in Detroit's Black history. Taken from the book, On This Day, African American Life in Detroit.
On any given Friday night, you'll find a group of children and teens playing chess at the Detroit Institute of Arts. They're members of the Detroit City Chess Club. The kids give free lessons to the public, and they play against each other so they can stay on top of their games. The chess club members have won local and national competitions. Let's take a look.
Kids love to compete, and they love to show you and to prove to you that they can do well. To see a bunch of kids sitting down playing chess on a Friday night when they can be doing other things, playing sports or just at home doing videos, the fact that they're here and they're excited. You can walk out there now and see how excited they are just to be here to play.
On a Friday night, the kids could be doing anything, and so they're here, they're learning, they're engaged, and they're thinking, and it's a great end of the week detox for the family as well. It's in a museum, it's beautiful.
I've seen a lot of kids grow within chess. One of the peripherals that chess does that a lot of educators forget is self-esteem, because if a kid's self-esteem is high, they're going to want to come to school, they're going to want to improve their grades. And that's happened with all the kids that I've had.
Most sports, you just have to use your body, train stuff. With chess, you just gotta train your mind, and your mind can take you a lot of places where your feet can't go.
Their confidence levels have increased because they're not intimidated by age, by racial dynamics, by social class, and they just play the game.
It's important because it develops their ability to understand how to get from point A to point B to point C. And when they have that ability, they now know how to manage to solve problems within English, math, science.
It kind of helps me in math because the chess pieces are worth stuff and you have to count them up.
The inner city kids are sometimes misjudged by things that happen in the news media that sometimes they're all bad. We have kids in the inner city that do have some positive ways of achieving things, and they are willing to be educated and willing to do better than what is the perception.
Because they're not always playing chess, but they always adapt and use those skills from the game in real life. I've definitely seen improvements in science and math for the kids. I've seen them make better life choices, where they think through and they come and talk to us. So I like that aspect, to see the children grow beyond the board and into real life.
I have to make it fun. I mean, that's the first thing, because I'm an educator first. I'm a chess coach second. And I think there's probably all the coaches in the city are better than me in terms of playing chess, but I think what my gift is being able to convey it to the kids and to motivate the kids to want to do well and to want to compete at a high level.
Coach Fife has just been marvelous with these kids. And when we go out of state to these tournaments, and the camaraderie of competing and winning is so overwhelming. It's like your heart pour out to these kids to help them more?
It's like a club where you got your friends, and then you have chess, and that's great because you got the game you love to play, got all the friends that you love, and just play.
Joining me now are Catherine Martinez, a chess club board member and parent of 2 children who have participated in the club, and Kenneth Morris from the Detroit Institute of Arts. Welcome to American Black Journal. So before we start, I have to disclose that my wife works at the DIA, and my kids are often down there with those other kids playing chess. They're not formal members of the club, but they talk about it all the time.
Well, they're officials.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It's a big family.
That's right. It's a big family. This is one of my favorite activities in the city. Really, I mean, you think about a Friday night, what kids could be doing with their time, and you have all of these kids, and it's always crowded down there, just down there playing chess. That's something.
Yeah, we get about 100 to 200 a day, and a lot of the veteran players will come out to play some of the new elementary players. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. So where did this idea start? I know Kevin was the person who started it, but how did he come up with this plan?
I'll tell you, his passion is beyond measure.
Yeah.
And I've never met a more consistent mentor for children than he is. He started in 2003, and the DIA hosted us since then, and it's been great. The Friday night, like you mentioned, is a great family night. It's free, it's open chess, so any persons that walk by can come down and play with the children. It's a great way for children to grow because they're not playing just scholastic chess. They're playing any random person. It's just a great program. His passion for the team, Kevin Feit, has really grown the team. And I've seen the veteran players come back down and play, and it's just a warm family feeling down there.
Yeah, yeah. Ken, this is part of a much bigger program at the museum. I don't think most people know that, but if you come to the museum, stays open later on Fridays.
The museum's open till 10 o'clock on Friday.
And there's lots of stuff going on for families.
Right. There's a museum. There's typically music on Friday nights, family programming. There's the studio drop-in workshop, which are family crafts designed for families to engage in. Sometimes the chess club themselves are part of our public program.
A part of your program, right?
I mean, you mentioned that anyone who shows up in the museum, they will teach chess too. You become aware of visitors that come on Friday, and engaging with the chess club is just part of their Friday visit.
Sure, sure.
In addition to that, we've even had we have suburban scout troops that come in and engage with the chess club. It becomes part of their badge, getting their badges.
Right, right. And as I said in the open, this is fun, but it's also sort of serious. I mean, these are not just playing around kids. These are kids playing very seriously, learning the game, and then competing.
Yes, we do travel nationally and internationally. The children, we go to about 10 tournaments nationally a year. So we will travel. We've been to Minneapolis, we've been to Nashville. This year we're headed to Atlanta this month, and we're heading to Dallas after that. So the children are very focused. When Kevin Feit first started out, he didn't have a lot of parental involvement. So he was really toting these kids around
by himself. He did it by himself, right.
So now, luckily, the passion from his involvement with the children has translated to the adults.
Yeah.
So that's great to see.
Yeah, you know, the thing I like about chess with kids, and the thing I've seen with my kids, and they learn to play chess at the club.
Okay.
You know, it's a great game for getting kids to think ahead, right? It's not about the next move, it's about the next move after that and 5 moves down the road, which is really hard to do with little kids, but chess is a way that they seem to get it. Yeah.
We've seen improvements in math, strategic thinking, their grades. We allow the children to have playtime, and we have a lot of casual conversations with them. And through those conversations, they're often thinking, how would the other person feel? What would they do? And I think that thinking comes from chess, and as they strengthen in chess, they strengthen in their life choices.
Right, right. Ken, this is one of the things that I think sort of imbues the museum in the community. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who don't quite get how much the museum has to do with Detroit and Detroiters, but you come there on a Friday night, you see all these kids, most of them from the city, sitting there playing chess.
And that's part of our reason. The chess club was something very easy for us to get behind. And Catherine mentioned that the chess club had been in the museum probably since 2003. And I think, and she also mentioned how passionate Mr. Kevin Feit is, the founder. And I think the relationship sort of began with the chess club looking for space.
Okay.
And Kevin being resourceful and sort of just, here's public space, we're going to go in here and play.
Right.
Right. The relationship is more formal now, but it's just one of the ways that we engage with our community, support community youth. We also recognize that there's some people, members of the club and their families, who may not otherwise have found reason to come to the museum.
Sure.
We recognize too that adult museum visitors typically come from children that had positive experiences in museums.
Right, which is how I grew up here and grew up going to the DIA, and that's why I keep going now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. With the club, tell me about some of the achievements these kids have earned. I know they're good at this. This
right.
is not,
so there are team trophies that we've won on a national scale. We've won first place just about every year in a given segment. But they've won individual trophies, which means that at a national tournament, they've won every single one of their games,
right.
which is a feat.
Yeah.
We've also explored beyond just their level. We went to a chess tournament in Chicago with grandmasters. All of the rating, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the rating.
Oh, yeah.
So we're 2,000 and above, well beyond most of our players. But what the chess tournament taught them was that you could just play the game.
Right.
And they were surprised to win at that tournament. So it's just great to see their young minds not be intimidated by race, by age,
right.
by any social dynamic, and just play the game.
Yeah, yeah. It strikes me that in a city like Detroit, where we struggle so much with programming in schools that's not just academics, that this is filling a pretty important gap.
Yes, because we've been losing music,
right.
in athletic,
and art.
Yes, and art, yes, definitely. And so chess has fulfilled that. We're really excited about expanding it.
Yeah. So you're planning to expand the
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
It expands on its own.
Yeah,
really.
right.
So, which has been really great. The DIA has been great over the years. We're very thankful for what you guys have done. This weekend we have a chess tournament, if we could talk about that.
Sure.
The Thinkers Chess Tournament is this weekend, and we will post the website as weplaychess.webs.com.
Okay.
And in the UAW, Jimmy Settles helps to host us there, and we attract persons from Canada, Canton, Lansing, all over the state to our tournament.
Yeah.
So please come down if you can. It's at the UAW building Forward next to Cobo.
Okay. It strikes me also that these kids, you're traveling all over the place. That's an opportunity they might not get otherwise too, right?
Very true. When we travel, we try to sightsee in the local areas. And we've gone to plantations. We went to the JFK Museum. So that's really exciting. So just beyond chess, we expose the kids to other cultures as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the museum also recently opened up Kresge Court again as a much more public space. You know, I go there work sometimes during the week. It seems like there's a new effort at real outreach.
Well, there's an effort at outreach, and the you know, one of the things that the Kresge Court is called is the cultural living room.
Right, right.
And it's a place that we want people to feel very comfortable. And just this is a place where you can come hang out. We think of the museum as one of the city centers, right? And
right.
And this is just part of that philosophy. It's a place for everyone.
Yeah. Well, and I know my wife would kill me if I didn't mention that the current exhibition,
the
Samurai exhibition, which I have not seen yet, but I'm going to go, and everyone else should go, right?
and it's an amazing exhibition. There's beautiful objects and a lot to learn. That's one of the things that people who are coming out of it talk about is one, being impressed with the art with the subject matter and just learning a lot. And there's a lot of excitement and energy around that exhibition.
Yeah, yeah. Those every exhibition, you know, it's got a title, it's got a theme, and you go in with an expectation. You come out having seen way more than I think what you thought. So people should really go down there and take a look. Well, congratulations on the program.
Thank you.
And they've planned expansion, so
Yes,
that's good news. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time on American Black Journal.
This program is part of American Graduate. Let's make it happen. A public media initiative made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Eric wants to know,
what does DTE Energy do to make Michigan a better place?
Rodney can tell you.
We do a lot, like youth education and employment programs. We fund over 500 jobs for youth all across the state. Many are neighborhood improvement projects just like this.
It's incredible.
Wow, that is fantastic. So this is like a paint by number, this whole thing, right? Communities are such great places, aren't they?
They sure are.
Love the siding. Measure once, cut twice, right? DTE Energy. Know your own power.